All right, welcome. Today we are diving into a really big idea. Basically, two completely different ways of looking at human health. We're going to unpack this incredible map that contrasts ancient wisdom with modern science, and it all boils down to one question. How do we actually master our own biology? So let's get into it. Okay, so here it is. This is our roadmap for this whole explainer. You've got two worlds, right? On the left, you see this holistic path, all about patterns and flow. And on the right, you have this world of absolute precision and mechanics. These two paths, they represent a huge choice in how we think about our health. And right there in the middle, well, that's where things get really interesting. So let's just start with the question that really sets the stage for everything. Think about it for a second. Is your body a garden? A complex ecosystem that you have to nurture and cultivate and bring into balance? Or is it more like a machine? A super sophisticated one where if a part breaks, you just need to fix or replace that specific part. How you answer that, well, it pretty much changes everything. Okay, so first, let's head down the path of flow, what our source material calls the holistic garden. This is the world of traditional Chinese medicine. We're talking about an ancient system that's all about looking at the body as one big interconnected system. And the core idea, the guiding light on this path, is a concept called Ben. It literally means the root cause. So instead of just, seeing a symptom and trying to stamp it out, this entire philosophy is about asking why. Why is that symptom even there? It's all about digging down to the root of the problem, not just chopping off the wilting leaves. So how do you actually find that root? Well, this approach uses this really personal way of figuring things out. Forget blood tests and scans for a minute. Practitioners here are looking for patterns. They're reading the body's quiet little signals, things like the color and the coating of your tongue, the quality of the pulse in your wrist, and just talking to you, a really detailed interview about your life. It's not standardized, it's deeply, deeply personal. And once they spot a pattern of imbalance, the treatments are all about getting things flowing again. You've probably heard of these: acupuncture, moxibustion, cupping. They're all seen as tools to kind of nudge the body's vital energy, what they call qi, back into harmony. The whole goal is to make these small, smart adjustments that guide the entire system back to its natural, healthy state of balance. All right, now let's do a full 180 and walk down that second path, the path of precision. This is the mechanistic world of modern medicine. We're talking data, heart numbers, and super targeted action. And the main principle here is basically the exact opposite of Ben. It's called biao, which means the symptom or the pathogen. And the focus here is just crystal clear. Find the specific problem, a virus, a bacteria, a rogue cell, and then hit it with overwhelming force and precision to get rid of it. And the tools for finding that problem? They are unbelievably powerful. We're talking about identifying disease with incredible tech, imaging that lets us see right down to the cellular level, blood work that screens for hundreds of specific biomarkers, and even genetic screening that tells us what problems we might face in the future. It's all about finding that exact, measurable signature of a disease. And the interventions are just as precise. This is the world of decisive action. We're talking synthetic drugs designed to hit a single molecular target, robotic surgery that can perform maneuvers no human hand could ever do, MRI and CT scans that give you a perfect map of the battlefield. The goal is something our source calls temporal liquidation, which is just a really intense way of saying the aim is to wipe the problem out completely and fast. It's about ending the disease right here, right now. So, there you have it, two powerful but totally different paths, the garden versus the machine. But what if there's another way? This brings us to the very center of our map, to what's called the arc of conviction. And this is the real turning point in the story. And this is the question we have to ask, right? Do we really have to choose? Are these two ideas truly enemies? Or is there a way to combine the ancient wisdom of the garden with the incredible power of the machine to create something totally new, something that might be better than either one on its own? Now, what's so cool here is how this middle path is framed. That archway in the center, it's not just a bridge between two ideas. It's a whole new mindset. It's about shifting from being reactive, waiting for something to break, to being proactive. It's suggesting we should take that idea of flow from the garden side and make that the guiding principle for a new, smarter way of thinking about health. So it really all comes down to this choice in how you see things. Are you a unique, personalized pattern of harmony and disharmony? Or are you just a collection of standardized diseases, where everyone with the same label gets the same pill? The proactive path suggests maybe, just maybe, you're both. And this quote just nails the mindset shift. The standard failure is waiting for the fire alarm to go off. That's the waiting for heat. You wait until you have a full-blown diagnosed disease. But the proactive master, they don't wait. They strike to create heat. They're actively building health, building resilience, creating optimal function before that alarm ever even gets a chance to ring. So, if the goal is to strike to create heat, how in the world do we actually do that? Well, that brings us to the synthesis, to a proposed solution that tries to pull all of this together, aligning not just these two ways of thinking, but our mind, our body, and even our resources. And this visual just perfectly captures that fusion. On the left, you've got the traditional oracle, that deep intuitive wisdom from the holistic path. And on the right, you have the Raise platform, which represents all the power of modern data and tech, literally in the palm of your hands. So this Raise platform is presented as that bridge we've been talking about. Just imagine a system where the subtle patterns from your tongue diagnosis and your pulse could be analyzed right alongside your latest blood work. A platform that actually integrates the wisdom of the holistic garden with the hard, cold data from the mechanistic machine. That's the vision. And that's where we'll end it, because this isn't really about two different medical systems anymore. It's about a potential new way of thinking about our own health. And it leaves all of us with a pretty powerful question. In this age where we have access to all this ancient wisdom and all this incredible data, the choice isn't just about which path to follow. It's about how you build your own. So, how will you engineer your own biological mastery?